Good day, welcome to Mind Prosperity. Today we're doing a message called The 5 Signs of a Dark Empath. Now, understanding the 5 signs of a dark empath will help you in various relationships, whether it's friendships, whether it's family, whether it's in the workplace, romantic, different kinds of relationships will be helped if you do understand what the dark empath is. So today I'm going to do a quick explanation on what the dark empath is, and then I'm going to give you guys the 5 signs of a dark empath. Now, to understand what a dark empath is, we first have to understand what an empath is. Now, an empath is not necessarily a bad thing, and an empath can be a very good thing if it's managed in the correct way. So I don't know who of you guys are musicians, but I remember like one thing, there were a time about 2 years where I played on stage. For a specific church that I was in. I've played on stage many more. I don't know why it's important for me to say that. The amount of time is not important, but when you're on stage, you have to tune your guitar in. I played guitar. You have to tune your guitar, or you have to tune your instrument in. If it's out of tune, if it's out of sync, then it doesn't sound very well. If you have a radio and you're listening to a radio station, you have to tune the radio to the right station. And just like that empaths has this. They have this gift to be tuned in to the emotions and the minds of other people. So they have this kind of like a gift to feel what other people are thinking. The thoughts, the actions of other people has a great impact on the empath. So the empath are people who are very tuned in, and a lot of empaths do use this to be good to people, to help people. Because they can feel what other people feel. That's what empathy is about. It's about feeling what other people are feeling. Now, to understand the dark empath, it's a combination between an empath and one of the characteristics of the dark triad. So the 3 characteristics, or the 3 areas of the dark triad, is the following. You get your Machiavellian or your Machiavellianism, who are master manipulators. Then you get your narcissist, who wants to be the center of attention. Everything is about them, and they dominate a lot. And then you get the psychopath. The psychopath is the one that can do things without feeling any emotion for it. Now, I think with the psychopath, it's very difficult to think, okay, but how can a psychopath be an empath if he's part of the dark triad? Now, one thing you have to understand about the dark empath is they have cognitive empathy. They don't have affective empathy. Cognitive empathy is where they, on an intellectual level, can understand the emotions, the feelings, the desires, where the other person is. So they can tap in with empathy to another person, but only on a cognitive level. They don't have affective empathy, which is feeling the emotion. That's why somebody like a psychopath can easily be part of the dark empath, because he's part of the dark triad. So the dark empath is a combination between the dark triad and an empath. So it's either somebody who is narcissistic, who has cognitive empathy, somebody who is a Machiavellian that have cognitive empathy, or somebody that's a psychopath that has cognitive empathy. And these people can destroy your lives if you don't know how to read them, and if you're not very careful. Now, one thing about emotional intelligence, and I teach a lot on emotional intelligence, is interpersonal intelligence, which has to do with your relationship with other people. You have to have this ability to read the environment, to know what kind of people are good for you, what kind of people are not good for you. So, 5 signs of a dark empath. If you see these 5 things in people, you can. I wouldn't say you can know you are dealing with a dark empath, but these are some of the signs to recognize it. And even if somebody is not a dark empath, I do still believe it's a good idea to be alert when it comes to these signs. Number 1, manipulation. People who are dark empaths are master manipulators. So manipulation is to control the thoughts, feelings, or behaviors of others, typically for personal gain or to achieve and objective. Now, because they cognitively can understand the thoughts and the feelings of other people, they have a great gift to manipulate if they want to do it. And they will easily do it at the expense of another person for their own personal gain. Robert Greene said, "The best deceptions are the ones that seem to give the other person a choice. Your victim feel like they are in control, but are actually your puppets." So these dark empaths has a great gift to help other people feel good about themselves to a point, let other people feel like they are in control. It is their choice. Robert Greene called this, get other people to play with the cards that you give, meaning it feels to them like it comes from them, but it's actually the person manipulating them to go into that direction. So the first one is they are master manipulators. The second one, they are outwardly very charming and agreeable. So, and this is also a thing that makes the dark empaths such a dangerous personality. Emotionally, a person can feel very good, very excited. They kind of have this exciting atmosphere that they create. They create a very desirable but yet unpredictable presence. You know, for many people, if somebody becomes predictable, they become boring. So for some people, healthy is boring. And I'm not saying we should be predictable all the time. And I'm not saying unpredictability is a bad thing. But I am saying people who are dark empaths has a very strong unpredictability in them. And this unpredictability causes a person's emotions to rise and fall the whole time. So people feel extremely charmed by them. They call it people who are basically hot and cold the whole time. So Robert Greene again said the first step in the process of seduction is to create a feeling of confusion and desire in your target. So they have a strong desire to be in your presence, or let me say this, you can have a strong desire to be in the presence of this person, but you're also like very confused about where this person is. It's like this puzzle, it's this riddle the whole time that plays a lot of mind games with you, and you don't really know in what direction to take it. Then number 3, emotional vampirism. And this is where they drain you a lot. Emotionally, it feels like they are sucking all the emotion out of you. When you spend time with a dark empath or either one of these dark personalities, it literally comes to a place where it feels like they're sucking the life out of you. Now, I know it might sound a bit contradicting when you look at number 2 and number 3, because number 2 is like they create this exciting presence around them, and number 3 is they suck the emotional life out of you. So what we need to understand about the dark empath, it's a very close combination between the two. So in one area, it feels very exciting around them. So, you know, you will hang out with them, very, very exciting. But then their unpredictability, the manipulation, the things that they do will then eventually start to draw or to suck the emotional life out of you. John Mark Greene said, toxic people attach themselves like cinder blocks tied to your ankles and then invite you to swim in their pool of poisoned water. So it feels like you are very bound when you are with these people, and then it also feels like they're causing you to swim in poison. But because you are so bound, it feels like you cannot swim out, and you're eventually going to suffocate from this poison. So, and again, like I know this sounds very dark, but one thing about these personalities, they are very dark, and there are people that if you want to live a healthy emotional life, if you want to live a successful life, because emotional intelligence is a great predictor of success. If you want to live a successful life, you have to learn how to guard yourself and put boundaries up against these dark triad or dark empath personality. So I have 2 left. Before I get there, I want to ask you to like this video, to subscribe to our channel. We want to go to 1,000 subscribers. If we're already at 1,000 subscribers, this just means you are watching this video a bit later, and we want to go to 2,000 subscribers. So, and we also want to ask you to share this video to people if you do believe it might be helpful to them. Okay, so number 4. To understand number 4, I want you to think about a weapon. Why do people use a weapon? People use a weapon, sometimes they might use it to protect themselves, but people use a weapon to harm other people. And this is the way that I want you to see it in this. People use a weapon to harm other people. So they weaponize your feelings. That's number 4. They weaponize your feelings. So because they have such a strong cognitive empathy, because they can understand your feelings and emotions so well, they use it as a weapon against you to hurt you. So they have this great ability and this great gift to draw out of you, to get you to talk about your emotions, to get you to talk about feelings, to get to talk about things. They have this great ability to draw out of you, but then whatever they took out of you, whatever emotions or information they got out of you, they will use against you like a weapon. Oprah Winfrey said, "People who hurt you may have the power over you if you don't know how to handle the hurt. They can keep you focused on them, which gives them more power." So if people do this, if people uses your emotions against you, it's almost like you will go back for more and more and more and more, because it's almost like a drug, that little bit of emotional satisfaction. And if you don't know how to deal with it, you can easily be sucked in to things like fear and manipulation from them. Okay, so the 5th and the final area I want to give to you when it comes to the dark empath is they repress mental health problems. One thing we learned in psychology is you cannot help people who don't admit they need help. And also you cannot help people who are not willing to do what is necessary to get the help. So because these people repress their problems, they get into a place of denial, like I don't really have a problem. You see this a lot with Machiavellians and narcissists. They never the problem. They perfect, nothing wrong with them. With a psychopath, they can acknowledge sometimes that they are the problem, or a lot of times a psychopath can say, "Yeah, I'm the problem." But the problem with the psychopath is they don't care, like emotionless. I don't want to change anything. So all of their mental health issues is buried deep beneath. They don't bring it out because you have to bring something out. You have to bring something in the light for it to be healed or it to be fixed. So these people will never say they're a problem. If they are psychopathic and they are the problem, they just won't care. So healing for these people are not likely. So don't try to save them. I know a lot of times people will go into, a kind of like a relationship or a friendship with these people because they make them feel emotionally so good. And there's like this up and down of emotions that seems kind of exciting. But the problem with being around these people is nothing is going to change. And a lot of times people have the savior complex almost as if you can save the person. The best thing you can do is to protect yourself and get out of that environment as far as you can. So Sigmund Freud said, "Unexpressed emotions will never die. They are buried alive and will come forth later in uglier ways." And this is also called, Jung spoke about the dark shadow. If you keep your dark side in the shadow the whole time and you don't bring it out, that thing is later going to come out in very, very ugly ways. And these people, they just won't admit there's a problem. They just won't admit they have a problem. And like I said, they create a great emotional presence around them for a while. But eventually that presence is going to suck the emotions out of you. So what do? We have to be on guard. We have to distance ourselves. We have to get the right boundaries in place to protect ourselves in these situations. So thank you so much for watching. I hope and believe this video helped you. From Mind Prosperity, we love you very much. Thank you for being part of our channel, and we're looking forward to see you soon again. Goodbye.